Mr. and Apollinax Part 6. Dropping for fingers of surf. So I said about possibly waves yesterday, but I was also thinking about crests of waves. So as in the Russell family crest, as in Bertrand Russell, which the family crest actually contains scales, like Libra or Mat. But when I was thinking about waves, I came across Walter Scott's Lady of the Lake. The grisly priest with murmuring prayer, slender, crosslet formed with care, cubits length in measured dew, the shaft and limbs were rods of yew, whose parents in Inch Caeli wave. So I was thinking of the Inch Caeli, the island, was waving. So it's the Isle of the Old Woman, or Isle of Nuns, or Isle of the Cowed-Hooded Woman. And it's maybe linked with Saint Kentigern, who went to Scotland to preach for Christianity. It was a hunting ground for Robert the Bruce, and associated with Clan MacGregor. I think the lands were then given to Clan Campbell. Colin Campbell was the first Earl of Argyll, which interestingly is the name of a car park in Plymouth, and Argyll is the name of our football team. I looked for the head of Mr. Apollinax rolling under a chair. I mentioned yesterday the head of John the Baptist, and maybe links with Elijah with the chair, the seat that you leave out for him at Passover, I think. I thought heads will roll, as in the idea of a revolution. Looking specifically for a head of Apollo, so there was one which ended up being called the Chatsworth head, which is unfortunate given that it was from a god, which I think came from Elba. It was acquired, that always makes me laugh, by the 6th Duke of Devonshire at Smyrna from H.P. Borrell. So it's interesting, Borrell is a man from Smyrna who was like a trader, etc. So that links perhaps with the wasteland. So the name Chatsworth is a corruption of Chettlesworth, meaning the court of the Chettle. Well, that helps. But Edward the Confessor, a man of Norse origin named Chettle, held lands jointly with the Saxon named Liot North. Blah, 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 blah. Elba was intriguing because it was the first site of Napoleon's exile. Or grinning over a screen. So grinning is smiling, like a Cheshire cat, also to beam or shine. So there's potential links there with Alice in Wonderland. In Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire cat, the grin stays behind even when the cat vanishes. So it's quite ethereal. It also has this idea of meaning to show one's teeth and gums. I'm not sure about gums, but teeth that have been likened to stars, like the Milky Way, which also links with cheese and dairy. So I was thinking of Cheddar Gorge, allegedly created by the devil. Very busy person. And there's the underground Yo River, Goff's Cave, named after Richard Goff. It was originally called Sandhole, which is funny. He lived in Lion House, is another lion reference. Cheddar Man came from there. He was a man made of cheese. And this all may relate to Morning at the Window poem by Eliot. The final lines are, an aimless smile that hovers in the air and vanishes along the level of the roofs. The smile of the Cheshire Cat. On the origins of the phrase, a Samuel Maunder suggested, I'll continue,